Okay, guys, we need to talk about the delay that happened yesterday, which we all knew was coming.
Mr. Speaker, across our country, alarming numbers of people not only forecast that this extension would happen, but increasingly believe that they're never going to see true freedom again, freedom from these restrictions, which he's promised us. What more can he say about the conditions under which we'll get to step 4 to reassure those people that this government will actually set them free, and indeed in due course set them free from all of the paraphernalia of the management of this pandemic?
Now, on top of that, we also need to talk about a protest that happened in London yesterday. There were people protesting about their freedoms that should be a given for the people in this country, but under the current lunacy we find ourselves in, they are not. Now, you might not have even known there was a protest on yesterday because I myself only heard about it a few hours before. The media and social media love to hide these things as best they can. Either way, lots of people attended, but you wouldn't know that because the media didn't bother reporting on it, or should I say most of the media anyway. It seems that GB News actually did report it, so credit to them for that one. Once again though, the BBC have evaporated like a fart in the wind. If this had been a lefty protest, they would have had camera crews there ready, to claim it was mostly peaceful even if 27 coppers got injured. Unfortunately though, the BBC are more interested in pushing the government narrative down your throat, so them talking about what was a small protest compared to the weekend anti-lockdown ones was never likely to happen, was it? Now, following Boris Johnson's delay yesterday, I've been told about the group Save Nightclubs, which has planned another protest for the 21st of June, the sheeple's so-called Freedom Day. This all follows recent reports that nightclubs would ignore the government's delay and open anyway, which I really hope they do, because that will possibly stop this bollocks. Now, obviously, another protest and more protests cannot hurt in this situation we find ourselves in now, and in fact, as I said before, they need to be weekly or daily, not every month. But realistically, if we all say no and just do these things regardless, they cannot stop us at the end of the day. Shit, they wouldn't even try, let me tell you that. It's all about compliance, and when people comply, they can literally do as they please. When they say no, they have to wind their fucking necks in, plain and simple. The sheeple's complicity has given them the balls to take the piss beyond all measure previously known. I mean, even Parliament seemed pretty pissed off with Boris the blithering idiot because he reported his new restrictions to the media before going into Parliament and telling the elected representatives first, essentially showing them to be nothing more than rubber stampers for all to see.
But can I ask the Secretary of State, how do we get ourselves in this position? He's been very good at coming to this House and making statements on COVID. But on the biggest, most important day, the press has given an embargo statement at 3 o'clock. The Prime Minister has a big showy press conference at 6, and he can't be bothered to turn up until 8:30. This is a clear breach of the ministerial code. How did it happen? Who thought it was a good idea? And who actually broke the ministerial code?
Ultimately, these decisions are a matter of judgment. Can he publish the data as to the risk to the health service and the risk to individuals of death as opposed to the social harm and the harm to businesses, and therefore why the judgment has been made that it is?
Now, of course, it don't matter that much all them coming out with this, because at the end of the day, they're all complicit in this bullshit. But at least a few of them actually spoke up for a change, and the Speaker seemed less than happy with Boris and his band of sock puppets we call ministers. Hancock, as per usual, was producing bullshit word salads with almost every answer, but that is nothing new at this point, is it? I actually think he's trying to rival Diane Aberpotamus on that one, to be honest.
The Secretary of State, I know, has set out that it's not the government's policy to get to zero COVID. Indeed, that's not possible. Could he say whether it's the government's policy to maintain a low prevalence of this virus? And if it's not, can he confirm the Prime Minister's sentiments today that July the 19th is a terminus date? And can he rule out bringing back restrictions in the autumn and winter when we see a rise, an inevitable rise, in what is a respiratory virus?
Well, it isn't inevitable. I don't think it's inevitable. It may happen, but it isn't inevitable because we also have the planned booster programme.
Mr. Speaker, across our country, alarming numbers of people not only forecast that this extension would happen, but increasingly believe that they're never going to see true freedom again, freedom from these restrictions, which he's promised us. What more can he say about the conditions under which we'll get to step 4 to reassure those people that this government will actually set them free, and indeed in due course set them free from all of the paraphernalia of the management of this pandemic?
Well, I want to get rid of all of the restrictions that have been put in place to manage this pandemic, and we will get there. And what I would say is that he will have noticed that the link that we have made and explicitly made is to the rate of vaccination, getting the vaccines done over these 4 weeks to come. Of course, it's my duty to recommend to the Prime Minister the actions that I think are necessary to keep people safe. As a Health Secretary, that is my duty. But I am also a parliamentarian who represents constituents who want these restrictions removed as soon as safely possible. That is our goal. It is a difficult balance. I think we've got the balance right, unfortunately, today. I say unfortunately because I wish it was easier. It is not, but we are able to make some progress, and I very much hope that we can make the full degree of progress that he wants to see in the not-too-distant future.
Now, obviously, I wonder what Clownland antics we're going to get next from these snivelling shit weasels, because as I've said before, everything is on the table at this point. Now, guys, before I go, remember to check out my website that will be linked down below in the video description. You can sign up for free, and it's easy to do, where you can chat with other viewers, send me messages directly, and more. Live streams and things like that will be coming to the website soon, so check it out like I said.
Where